to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcasts are back, talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. It's episode 201. And
yeah.
Wow.
Did you guys get any feedback about 200? I did. Nobody?
No. What'd you get?
No, I haven't. No.
Consensus opinion. They liked the format that we did. The breaking down that wall and seeing where it all started and, you know, all of that stuff. So I don't know how we incorporate that moving forward, but that might be something to take for granted, you know, or not take for granted, but to try to incorporate more of the real stuff instead of the fake stuff. So
okay, so episode 201, let's go down memory lane of episode 200.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna see Matt Young this weekend. I'll see what he thought about it.
Cool.
But that's a great point, Jay. Is that something that we're trying to keep building with the podcast is just interaction.
Yep.
You know, we thank everyone who has supported the show, and we want to, just increase that. That's what's fun. As much as the four of us love to hear ourselves talk, it's a little better getting the feedback from our listeners and viewers. So please leave us a comment on our YouTube videos, leave a review, subscribe. If you listen to the audio pod, all of that, we want to just keep building, and your comments, your feedback, it's always welcome, guys. So
Kevin.
Yeah.
Can you hit me with the sounder? So last week, we were not at 4,200 YouTube subscribers. This week, 4,201.
Yeah.
We did
it. Building. I demanded that last week. I'm like, how do we not have 4,200 for episode 200? So somebody
Very
came
cool.
through.
Yeah. How awesome.
That is cool. Well, we got to start off on a sad note. Of course, the news broke Monday afternoon. Rest in peace to Sid. Sid Udi or Udi, known, of course, as Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, and Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
And two-time WCW champ, along with main eventing 2 WrestleManias and WCW Starrcade in the year 2000. Jason, let's start with you. Let's just get your memories of Sid and what you thought about him during his run.
2 WrestleMania main events. I didn't think that. Look, man, Sid was never anybody that was like my guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's always the guy that had the big eyes and the perm and, so I don't have a lot. He was a member of the Four Horsemen, which I did not remember. Not going to lie. Like I said, Sid's just been someone that's been off the radar. What's really crazy is I've been seeing photos of him at like a convention last week, but he was dressed like Forrest Gump.
I think I saw that photo.
Yeah. Oh,
khaki pants, plaid shirt, weird hat with his ramen noodle hair coming out. Like, it sucks because a lot of people who just saw him and were friends with him had no idea that something was up. So it sucks. It's another one from our childhood that is gone way too early, and it sucks. So
Joe?
Yeah, he was always the guy who just looked legit. It's just like, he could you could always just put him into the spot of the main event and everyone would buy in. Like you said, he was in 2 WrestleMania main events. Those were his only 2 WrestleManias.
Yeah,
he was not in any other WrestleMania. So it's like they needed a main event spot, and it was at down times too. Like WrestleMania 8, Hogan, Sid, not even for the title, at the Hoosier Dome. And then WrestleMania 13, which was so low rated. Like the only thing you remember of that one was Austin and Brett. But I like what Shawn Michaels said about him this week. Without Sid, there is no HBK.
Wow.
Because Sid was his muscle. before Diesel was. Yes, it's like, and then he was again, and it's like without Sid, there would be no HBK. I mean, I have plenty of memories from him, which are like awesome. The "We're live, pal."
Yeah.
That's amazing. His flubbing of his promo in WCW of "I'm half the smart," like whatever he said there.
I have half
And
the brain that you do.
I have
Yeah.
the brain that you do. And Nash was like, "Did you just say that?" And of course, his reaction when Shockmaster came out, he was still selling it like it was scary. So he was a total pro, and he will be missed. I'm just sad that he's not here for his long overdue WWE Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah.
He's not in?
He's not
No.
in.
He was rumored, I feel like,
He
the
was
last
rumored
year
to
or
be
two,
last year,
and
or
never came together.
because
for
last
some
year
reason.
was Triple H's first class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it had something to do with Vince. I don't know. I'm not in any of those meetings, but it's like I thought Triple H was finally going to make good with this, which will probably happen now. But it's just like he's not going to be there to actually enjoy the accolades. Kevin, what about you?
No, and that's, you mentioned the Hall of Fame because when you roll on one thing on Facebook, the algorithms keep going. And I think I watched about 40 things on Sid, and there was a good little 2 to 3 minute video where he talked about the Hall of Fame, and he mentioned, maybe with the change in leadership, and he mentioned, and he said, Triple H coming on board, he's ready and willing. He said he wants to take advantage when he's still here. Unfortunately, didn't happen. Is he worthy? Absolutely. But I will say, Joe, you hit on so many good points because he was comedy wise so good because he
Wait, when was Sid ever a comedy act?
No, it
do you
wasn't.
remember
He
when?
wasn't a comedy
But
actor. That's what was funny.
that's what was funny. Like when he walked out, when Goldberg smashed his car and he was jumping on it, going, "Oh,
unintentionally hilarious.
that's the
intentional
funniness to him, and it's but his music in WWF back in the day, like that, like the kind of scary
Psycho.
The Psycho.
The Psycho
when he was Psycho Sid, and like he was like, fist bumping kids like with all his might, like the kid was like 2 inches further, could have like punched him in the face, but like I watched the video like 10 times where he's walking out. Might have been WrestleMania, his first one. And he just goes like this when the aisle's so small, it's narrow, and like all kids are out there and they're all just going nuts. That's the thing. Like I loved his music, such a huge, except for Hogan fucking him over. Was that when Flair won the Rumble where Hogan
92?
like pulled him over?
Yeah.
Damn you, Hogan. But no, he looked like a pro wrestler. His power bomb was one of the best. Rest in peace.
Yeah. You guys have hit on a lot of the stuff that I kind of put in my notes. That Rumble 92, he fair and square throws Hogan out. And this is when I was already like kind of over the Hulk Hogan thing, right? Kind of was give me Flair. And the crowd cheered. They're like, yeah, get out of here, Hogan. And what does that Hogan do? He holds his arm over the rope for Flair to dump him out.
I've never understood that rule with the Rumble. If you're eliminated, how you can eliminate people.
Right.
Never understood that.
It's not
To this
fair.
day. Nope.
It's not.
I hate it when they get back in the ring after. That's even
same thing.
Yeah.
And it was, I read about it in like the memories that people were sharing, how if you watch that live, the crowd cheers when Sid eliminates Hogan. Well, next week on Superstars, they dubbed over like "Boo, Sid," because that wasn't going around with it. I loved his promo style too. He had this thing where he could scream so intense, with so much intensity, but also like, "'Cause I'm the master and the ruler of the world." He'd be like, "Up here," and then "down here." And I always remembered that, like, this guy is so intense. And all those, the only other unintentional hilarious moments I've got 6 down. You guys have named 5 of them. The only one
okay,
that
thank
wasn't
God, 'cause
named.
I didn't need another list.
Yeah, the only one that wasn't named was when he destroyed Brutus's barber shop, and he's taking a steel chair. He hits a can of shaving cream, and it goes like all up his face. So he's trying to be this badass, but he's got like half a face of shaving cream. And it's like I said, unintentional, hilarious. Like, we're live, pal. Shockmaster falls. You hear him off camera going, "Oh God!" These moments that shouldn't have happened, but he somehow found his way into. Makes me just go like, man, a lot of cool memories with this guy. And I always would read about how he loved softball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he took time off to go play softball. That was alwas the joke.
That was the
hey, whatever,
joke.
man. We all got our things.
Yeah, I remember like reading that online back when like internet wrestling was coming out. I was like, "Where's Sid? Oh, it's softball season. He'll be back in November for Survivor Series or for the Rumble." So, quite the character, man. But yeah, rest in peace. Definitely sad to see him go because had a big impact for a long, long time in the wrestling world. Let's go back to Sunday. Wembley Stadium was the place. All in AEW. Jason got to catch all of this. I saw maybe a little more than half of it. Jay, give your thoughts on All In for this year.
Look, man, they do it again. Every pay-per-view, with the exception of one, was an A pay-per-view. Lot less people than last year. I think they learned their lesson from embellishing the numbers to, they went from 80 to 55 this year. A great show. I understand the reasoning, but we've talked about it. Not everybody needs to be on the pay-per-view. They had a 16, a 10, and a 12-man match on the show.
Look at Kevin's eyes.
That's a lot.
The last 10 minutes of the pre-show were the introductions for the trios match that had 12 people. Now, I was on Women's Wrestling Talk after the event, and the councilman questioned why, and I said, look, pay-per-view is expensive. And it did come out that was the reason. They put it on the pre-show, one, because of the cost, and two, to try to entice people to buy the pay-per-view. And it was a great match. I love the House of Black to the point that during the match, I bought 2 House of Black t-shirts.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't bought a Shop AEW product in at least a year. Overall, look, Mariah May and Toni Storm, killer. Great match. And the reason, outside of the 2 women, was the person that booked it. RJ City has done the entire story, which leads me to think that Virgin Tony Khan should not be working with the women's division. Let RJ City book the entire women's division of AEW. Britt and Mercedes apparently did not go well, and it was kind of a dud. As my dog agrees, it's not anybody's fault, but they were only given 10 minutes.
But was it the position on the card?
That too.
Okay.
I
wanted to ask about that.
Britt and Mercedes should have been second, not Mariah and Toni Storm.
Agree.
Look, there's so many other things to talk about here, but the main event was what it was supposed to be. I really thought maybe Swerve was gonna leave or win, but it didn't happen. Prior to the main event, Ospreay and MJF was my match of the night. Main event did what it was supposed to. The title was on the line. It was the best match of the night. And overall, like I said, an A pay-per-view for sure. Now, a person that hasn't been around for a while.
What's up, fuckers?
Hey! Welcome
Tony
back!
Khan back in the building. Now, of course, with a big AEW pay-per-view, I had to come and sing the praises of the world's greatest booker, Anthony Khan. And Jason, he is not a virgin. You're a virgin. You don't have any kids. We don't know if you've ever had sex. So fuck off. Tony Khan is the man. And what's up with the other fuckers? I haven't talked to you guys in like 2 months.
Yeah, Cody, we're on like a summer sabbatical, it seemed like. Welcome back. We hit 200 episodes. We had some feedback from the listeners. Like, my favorite part's Cody Ton. The people demanded.
Of course I am. Of course I am. And as they say in England, I was on holiday.
Oh, they do say that.
For the last 2 months. None of you can afford the holiday that I was on. And the holiday that I was paid to be on pays a lot more than you four idiots. So, whoever said I was their favorite, of course I'm the favorite. All In was the greatest pay-per-view of all time.
Oh, boy.
Tony Khan is the greatest promoter of all time. And I, Coney Ton, am the greatest podcaster of all time, even in small doses. And in saying that, I am Coney Ton, and I gotta go. Bye.
Well, he hasn't gotten any less braggadocious in the time off, guys.
Look, man, it's not cocky if you can back it up, and the guy has proved it.
Yeah.
So, like, let the guy have his cigars, man. Let him have give him his cigars.
Yeah.
Who was that, Greg? Who was that, Greg? Not my friend Greg. Was it former Q106 Greg that said Coney was his favorite?
Keith. Yeah, Keith.
Same thing. Yeah. So
yeah, there's an E in there somewhere.
Keith knows what's up.
Yeah, my little girl Fiona watches Peppa Pig, which is an English cartoon, and so she says that too, like, we're on holiday.
Yeah, Coney's on holiday. He was paid to be there, so good for him.
Yeah,
what do you think,
fun.
Brian? You caught about 2/3 of it?
I think so. Yeah, I caught about 2/3. I'll tell you what struck me was, you guys remember for the longest time it seemed like WWE, if somebody was wrestling in their hometown, they would lose.
Yeah.
Like that was Booker T like never won in Houston, whatever. Tony, he did the opposite. If you're from England, it's a hell of a day for you. We had the Bastard Pack winning trios titles, Mariah May winning the women's title. The grizzled young veterans showed up to confront the Bucks and FTR and the Acclaimed after their match. Nigel McGuinness wrestled. First time in 12 or 13 years.
And this is why he's the greatest promoter of all time. I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, the Nigel McGuinness thing, I had heard rumors that was going to happen.
Okay.
And then because the winner of that match got the title match, that was the stipulation. You win the match, you get a title shot.
Yeah.
And with Nigel and Danielson's history, which if you don't know, go Google some of that. Some of those matches were insane. And then when he came out, I'm like, oh, this is what they're going to do, which I thought that was the plan until Taz mapped it out on commentary. I'm like, oh, well, that ain't happening now.
Mm-hmm.
But there was another debut in that gauntlet match, Brian.
There was, yeah. Also, Zack Sabre Jr. was there.
Yeah.
So it was another just like British guys. Will Ospreay won. So it was a clap around for anybody British wrestling. It was your big day. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with the winner being Christian. We had another fake out turn of
bad
kill switch Luchasaurus, and I was like, oh, because that match was fun. That's a fun concept of a match where you don't know who's coming out. It's not like a 5-minute interval. It's just the timer just goes off whenever.
Well, the thing is, they lost the trios titles, Christian, Kill Switch, and Nick Wayne. Then in the match, Christian came out. Then Luchasaurus came out. It said Luchasaurus on the screen.
Yes.
And everybody thought, okay, he's going to turn. And then he didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was a buzzkill to me. Who you were teasing about, though, we also had the debut of Ricochet.
God, this guy. Joe, Kev, you guys haven't talked yet. Have you guys seen Ricochet's debut in the match? Like, did you watch it online or anything yet?
I personally have not. I know he debuted.
I know he debuted,
with his
and
real
I know he didn't.
That name, it's kind of cool.
And he didn't win.
No.
which is questionable.
And that's the topic I was thinking of, was just he kind of came in the
I
middle
have
of
more to
this
say on that.
match. Yeah. And it's just, do you understand? Do you hear that
No.
booking and go, eh?
I don't get it, because he could have just stayed in WWE on a higher platform to be a high flyer who doesn't win matches but can still be on TV. I would say it was a lateral move, but it would be lateral if it was the same type of company. But AEW is still below WWE, so he took a step backwards, in my opinion. I mean, he may be enjoying himself more, and he's going to have some great matches. But when you debut and you just you don't win the match, but Christian does, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
I think
Go ahead,
I
Kev,
personally think he'll have bigger matches in AEW because there's a lot of
eventually.
guys his size that have the opportunities, but I guarantee he's making more money. And at the end of the day, that's it. In his skill set, his size, being world champion in WWE,
And his style,
I don't
it
think
makes
could
more sense in
ever
AEW.
happen. I bet you Tony's paying him some bucks, and he'll help pay for that wedding that him and Samantha Irvin will have one day.
That debut was unbelievable because he got to do the stuff he was not allowed to do in WWE, which is why I've said all along, he's like the godfather of flippy shit AEW. He can do all that stuff. And we saw his match with Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite this week, and I thought that was a great match as well.
That was good.
Yeah.
Look, will he ever be the main champ? Probably not. But look, we're going to get Ricochet Ospreay 2. I mean, if you know that one from New Japan a few years ago,
that was already teased. Yep.
You know, I think this is a perfect place for him. And Kev, you mentioned his size. He may not be a tall guy, but he is a jacked guy. And I think
big.
he looks and is more jacked than a lot of the people at AEW. So I think this is the perfect move. It's not a lateral move. It's not a step down. This is what this guy needed, because if he goes there for 2 years or a 3-year deal, go back to WWE, man. It's going to be
say we
awesome.
make the determination, give it 4 months.
Well, I mean, if he ends up on, Rampage, then we know it's not going to go anywhere.
Oh, he's going to end up in Rampage. He will at some point.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't.
He should be on the two main shows. Definitely not Rampage. But then again, Keith Lee is still under contract with AEW, and nobody has seen him in months. So hopefully that does not happen.
He was going off on Twitter.
Ricochet, yeah,
because he's like, I got a super long flight home from England, and that's what people were saying. Like, and watch, he'll be on Ring of Honor in a month or whatever. And he's like, that's fine. I love Ring of Honor.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, good for you, man. But I don't know. Maybe you deserve something a little higher profile. I personally didn't really like the Kyle Fletcher match. I thought it was a little too back and forth. I mean, I did enjoy some of the move sets. And Fletcher's a guy, I think, who, we could talk in a couple of years about him being a real major player. But for me, I wanted to have a little bit more of a dominant Ricochet. But that Dynamite, man, with that crowd,
it's like 300
that was
people.
tough, guys.
It was not a good look for a company. They just put 50,000 people into Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, before Moxley came out and like the front row was like 2 rows and he had so much room to walk, I was like, maybe you should have came from somewhere else.
Well, even when Daniel Garcia was whipping on MJF, then MJF or security guards pulled Garcia and MJF, hit him from behind. Literally, it looked like one person clapped. Not even got up, cheered. No one was cheering on either way. One person got up, or one person just stood there and it was a dud.
Champaign, Illinois is not,
said it the best. Town. Not champagne, piss ass warm beer, something like that.
It is a college town.
her little segment with Tony, I thought was really good. I thought.
Weren't we in Champaign, Illinois?
No, we were in
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, we are legit Chicago.
We weren't in the home of the Illini.
What do you guys think of Moxley? Like, I don't know if he looked like he was on drugs. No Wild Thing. That was his New Japan theme song. This is not your company. Did he think he was talking to Tony Khan?
Right.
Yeah, because like Tony Schiavone's just an announcer. He doesn't own it. It's not like the 80s and early 90s Vince, who was an announcer.
Right. So, what do you think, Kevin, it means?
I don't know. I think the ending. What did he say? Learning humility or something.
Yes.
At the end with like, I'm very confused. One, I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah, me too.
Glad to see him. That's
He was on
what
holiday.
That's what I'm. Yeah, you're on holiday. eating
Yeah,
some
he
fish,
was.
eating some fish and chips.
Well deserved.
I'm just glad he's back.
He finally got a vacation.
Finally
Finally got a holiday.
from 2
It
years. He finally
looked
got
a
that vacation.
little off, but I don't think it's anything like real.
Right.
Like, I think he's just going to be in the zone of being kind of unhinged, right? And
Yeah.
different like that, not
He's
playing
on
to
a
the
lunatic
rules.
fringe.
Yeah, or fringe. Yeah. I'm just excited to see him back.
Joe?
I pop.
I was fine with his return. The change of the music, I'm like, if they're going for a new character that he doesn't want to be cheered, you change the sing-along music and you make it as that's what they did with Roman. They got rid of like the Shield music and gave him like the head of the table music, which worked out wonders.
Yeah.
What do I think he means? Is it I think the rumor is it's like, oh, he's aligned with Shane McMahon. But it could be he's aligned with Kenny Omega when he comes back. I mean, they had their history, and
Wow.
it's not your company. When Kenny comes back and like leading a group with Moxley, that would be big.
Okay.
I like that better, but it could be
Shane.
Shane O'Mac, and that's like the humbling that Tony Khan may need to have, like, a McMahon in the company taking over.
I thought Shane McMahon original. And then when they did that bit at the end with Marina Shafir, maybe this is the Hurt Business. Lashley, MVP, Shelton. They can't use the Hurt Business, but apparently MVP owns the name The Hurt Syndicate. Maybe they throw Josh Barnett from Bloodsport.
Ooh, Bloodsport stuff.
And they lead like a strong style, that type of faction. I mean, I'm intrigued. Like I said, originally I thought maybe Shane McMahon, but then I was like, there's other that beatdown. And Marina Shafir has done nothing. And if you don't know who Marina Shafir is, she was Ronda's buddy who got hired with Jessamine Duke and Shayna Baszler in NXT, did nothing. And she's also married to Roddy Strong.
Roddy Strong, right?
So, look, give her something to do. Get RJ City on the horn, booking ideas. I thought it was cool.
And she was putting a whooping on those security guards. And those security guards, I think they got
are the worst. They were the worst.
The smallest.
They were so bad.
Like, when the one was going to do like help out, like, oh, let's get it under control, and he just stopped. Like,
yeah, he said nope.
And
yeah, that guy got a pop.
Yeah, he did, and he was all over Twitter today too.
Was he? It was like, good for him. That was great. I'm curious about this, yeah, because I also saw the things like it must be Shane, but he called out Darby Allin.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Darby, we need to have a talk. It's about time. He's saying it's not your company to Shivani, and then you're throwing Marina Shafir. So I don't know. I really don't. Shane would be the A+ delivery in the sense of like, okay, this is something big. I'm intrigued. I just have no clue on where this is really going to head because of the Darby call out, the Shafir thing. It's really up in the air for me.
The only way it was good big is the fact that it would be a McMahon not involved in the WWE. That's like the only big thing, but it's you have your big moment. What's next?
Yeah. No doubt.
Before we get into WWE, I want to talk about the tweet.
Yes, please.
Seen by 61,000 people, pissing off AEW fans everywhere because they cannot take a joke. All it said was, when you order Becky Lynch on Temu, because Jamie Hayter returned and she looked just like Becky Lynch. Like to the point my wife said, "Wait, is that Becky Lynch?"
Yeah.
So,
So you're blaming your wife for the
no,
the tweet.
no, social team. That's all the social team. They did great. I have to laugh though because some of the responses that we got, some of them were posted online, others couldn't post because this one, your mother must have been a slut. My mom follows the show on Facebook, but she wouldn't understand she wouldn't get it. And then it was from a guy. His profile picture was the final boss. So I just responded. I said, "Wow, Dwayne Johnson replied to my tweet with a gif of him from G.I. Joe, and it says, fuck you." The other favorite response was, there's another one. This woman had a Liv Morgan as her picture and as her name. It says, "Shocker, but Becky Lynch, not the first wrestler with red orange hair. Y'all just saying that to shit on AEW. There's a lot of wrestlers with orange hair. Is there?"
I don't think there's a lot.
Is she counting Cyndi Lauper because she wasn't a wrestler, but should be in the Hall of Fame?
So I responded, "Okay, Timu, Liv Morgan, thanks." And it just kept going on and on with that person. And then my favorite. I don't know where I came up with this.
I think I know which one you're
Yeah. Fuck off, you idiot. Your jokes are not funny, but your life is a joke. And I just responded, "Your face looks like a stuntman's knee." I don't know what that means. But this guy,
that's a thinker.
David at David Crumpton 16.
Oh,
yeah. I there were so many ridiculous responses. Some got it. Some laughed. Some even commented on how AEW fans can't take a joke.
Yeah. They cannot.
What are the odds, do you think Stuntman Kneecap Face is number 1 in 4201?
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You just got it. See, Stuntman.
No, David Crumpton 16. David Crumpton
Stuntman
16.
Knee Face is a thinker. Like, what does that even mean?
Oh, and then there was one. We got blocked.
Oh no.
Like a badge of honor.
We got blocked.
Finally.
Fuck. Leafs fan forever. At
he must be from Toronto.
At Axel Rules 21. AXELRULES 21. We got blocked. It said typical account blocked. So if you are one of our people,
for Leafs fan,
Joe, there are also people that listen on audio, so nobody knows what you're doing.
I don't care. I'm just showing for Leaf fan the Red Wings number 1.
He's throwing his tribal affiliation.
Axel Rules 21. AXELRULES 21. At Axel Rules 21. Just, you know, what's cool is that the tweet was seen by like 60,000 people, which is super cool. The only negative, and I'm okay with saying this, because that dummy that the Liv Morgan, she's like, "You guys only have 300 followers. Your podcast must suck." And I said, "Well, we've never said we're good."
That's awesome.
Oh, what the
I'm insulted weekly.
Yeah, so like I said, Axel Rules 21. David Crumpton 16. DAVIDCRUMPTON 16. And then the Liv Morgan one is at LIVING _ ITTT.
Living it.
Yeah. So LIVING _ ITTT. 4 T's.
So did you friend them?
I'm watching what they're doing on my personal accounts.
Let's do that.
And
Let's
my
do that.
burner.
Let's
And my
bu- let's-
burner.
Let's build a bridge, not burn one.
And my
The burner account, that other wrestling podcast.
No.
They like them.
These nuts on
yeah.
your face.
Mhm.
69. So
Shout out to Ringside News for picking up on that.
Yeah, Brian, Brian, you sent me that. What did you just happen to come across that, or
I did, yeah. There's some account I think I follow called like Wrestle Nova, and they're basically they don't do original content. I don't think they just accumulate.
Aggregate.
Here's aggregate. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I saw the like Becky Lynch was trending during All In, and I went, let me click on this,
buddy?
and there was the link to Ringside News, and it had us included with a couple other accounts that had the same exact thought as we did. So yeah, I threw that at you, Jay, and said like, look at that trending or whatever, went viral. So pretty funny, man.
Yeah. So that's enough AEW talk.
It was a good time all around though. But yeah, Monday Night Raw real quick, because we're gonna do, of course, the Bash at Berlin preview and predictions in a little bit. The two big highlights, I thought. Guys, is Bronson Reed going into the Hall of Fame this year or another year? Because I mean, my God, that stuff with Strowman was so much fun. He just keeps going through the roof, right, guys? This is crazy.
Literally through the roof.
Yes.
Of the car. Yes, down through the roof.
With a little firecracker or something.
So good. So good.
They got one of Gilbert's sparklers from back in the day. Popped it in.
He can't feel his fingers.
Oh, funny. Yeah, it was good.
I feel like he is a diamond in the rough, waiting to have his shine. Little snippets before, right? But they're letting him beat legitimate people, beat people who everyone loves R-Truth, beat the crap out of him, right?
I don't.
Majority of people like R-Truth, beat the crap out of him. Putting a whooping on Braun, that was awesome. And they had him roll up, in the beginning, like with when Braun was walking up, they had him rocking out the Gangstar shirt back in the day. He looks like a legitimate beast. And Braun, ever since he came back, I'm just like, right? So I'm kind of glad to see him get that upper hand, because then he just even looks more beastly. He's taking that quote unquote big moniker and owning it, because he's showing it.
Strowman now is in the later stages of Big Show's career. Like, he's there to put over the new monsters, and that's what he did. He did his job very well
good call.
On Monday. He's reminding me of this year's LA Knight, as in, you didn't see it coming. He always had it in him, but now he's got full support from the fans, and he found his voice, and his voice was, "I'm just going to beat people up. That's just what I'm going to do. You didn't give me the shot. I'm going to just keep doing it." And I love that he said he didn't forget about the Miz. Like, oh, you got your big brother to take care of the bully. Well, I'm going to come back after you once I'm done with this guy. So
did they mention that Miz brought Reed back to WWE? Did they bring that up at all?
They did not.
I don't know.
But like the swivel, like Miz is going to be swivel head from now on, so it keeps him involved too. So they're Bronson Reed, they're knocking it out of the park right now, and it's just building him up more for when Seth comes back, and that's going to be killer.
There's nothing more I can add to this. So Brian, bring us home.
Yeah, Braun Breaker, another badass on the show. They're doing this like Intercontinental title qualifying triple threat matches. It'll be a fatal 4-way. So who do we want to see face Braun? So we got Jey Uso and Pete Dunne who've qualified. Next week we've got 2 more matches. It's Dragunov, Dom Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and then the aforementioned Bronson Reed, Ludwig Kaiser, and Sheamus.
Ludwig Kaiser. Guy is a Bond villain waiting to happen. When he turns on Gunther, it's going to be huge.
Kevin.
I want to see Dom.
That's my pick, man.
I want to see Dom.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but that would be my pick. That would be fucking fun.
Yeah.
See, I want to see Jay Uso. I'll go with the predictable, just so Braun can beat him,
Right.
and then Jay pop back in SmackDown with the whole
Right.
bloodline later down the road. I'll go the safe route.
He did. Braun did tease that a little bit when they talked at that little backstage of here's who won, and he threw out that line of, no one in your family ever beat my family.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Head Shrinkers versus the Steiner brothers or Smo and SWAT team or something. So
Yeah.
that would be cool. But yeah, I would. Ooh, Dom and Braun.
Oh,
I don't think it's gonna happen because I think he'll be tied up with Priest and this whole thing for a couple more months now.
There's a lot of
Love to see
good
it.
matchups. That's the thing. It's not duds, fillers. There's multiple people that could make.
Yeah.
And whoever faces first, the others are going to come shortly after in PLEs. So that's the best thing.
And
See,
shout
Kevin,
out to. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Kevin. I don't like the pick of Jey Uso because he can't win this and go to another title shot and lose again. He needs to stay away from like losing in
I
his
gotcha.
first only defense because whoever wins, they're
True.
losing.
Yeah.
So that's why Dom makes the most sense because he's over no matter what. And if he loses, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, look, regardless, do we think Braun Breaker loses the title to whoever wins the tournament?
No.
Okay.
He walked in with the damn dog like he was Cody and Pharaoh on Monday.
Well, Pharaoh's retired from TV, so
That's why
let's get another dog on TV. So
yeah,
That's right.
Braun.
Yeah,
Really want the dog to bark.
Keep Braun's roll going, man. I'm all about it. Let's go. We got a couple wrestling shows this weekend. Of course, we'll talk Bash in Berlin in a little bit, but NXT's got a pretty fun card, I think, on Sunday. It's No Mercy. We're going to quickly run down the card and just talk about who you're excited to see. We don't really care about predictions. We got Wesley versus Zach Wentz, Obafemi versus Tony D, Kalani Jordan versus Wendy Chu, Chase U with the tag belts against Frazier and Axiom, Roxanne Perez and Jada Parker, and the NXT title is Ethan Page versus Joe Hendry.
all I'm going to say is if Joe Hendry wins the NXT title, that's a bad call. That is a bad call. Match of the night will be Roxanne Perez and Jada Parker. Did you guys see the bitch slap?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey now.
I think World Star picked that up.
It was great.
Really?
Yeah, so
It was
good. Awesome. Such a bitch slap.
It's not ringside news, but it's good.
Right.
So you don't believe in Joe Hendry?
I don't. I believe in Jack Perry. Enough said. More on that next week.
Kev?
I think Wesley versus Zach Wentz. I think it has a little bit of emotion. I think that's going to be a lot of, what do you call it, Jay? Flippy shit?
Flippy shit.
Yeah. Flippy shit. But then I think it's going to just be beat downs as well. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of emotion in that match. I think that if it starts off the card is the first match, maybe just to get the crowd
it should.
hot. But overall, the card looks stacked. Like it truly looks good. I don't think there's gonna be a dud on it.
I agree with you, Kevin. I'm loving the new Wesley.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be flippy with emotion to it. So
Flip-motional?
Flip-motional. Yes.
Flip-motional.
It's gonna tell more of a story. It's not just gonna be trading moves. They're gonna be showing off their athleticism while trying to hurt each other.
Like Vader, because he did flippy shit and then he beat the shit out of people. That's all I'm good for.
You're talking in Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
They're on that lava planet.
I have the high ground.
Yeah,
I was thinking more like the wrestler Vader.
Yeah, he was thinking.
I thought you were talking Darth Vader.
Yeah, nerd. You went to Star Wars.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not selling this. I'm not selling.
Oh, no sell.
My.
Not your best, Kevin.
But yeah, you guys have all hit on that. What I was thinking, I put Jada Parker has the it factor. I think Roxanne will win. We know there's some higher profile women coming to NXT, but she's just knocked it out of the park. Every time I see her, I'm like, yeah, you're really, really good at this. And yeah, I was a little skeptical of heel Wes Lee. He's didn't really think that thought that was the best character direction for him, but I like the story of like, you guys left me, and I'm proving my own. I popped out loud. They had their little confrontation on Tuesday, and Wes at the end basically said to me, I'm going to prove at No Mercy I'm a superstar and you are a TNA wrestler.
He went hard R on wrestler. I was kind of like, ooh,
yeah,
all righty.
It's good, man. It's good little angle for that.
And that's what makes a good heel. It's someone who believes that they're in the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because no heel thinks they're wrong.
Yeah,
nobody 100%. Thinks they're a bad guy. They just don't think they're wrong. So
that's wrestling.
That's what we call common sense Drew. He believes he's right. Yes. So that's why it makes him a great heel.
1000%. Real quick, too, let's touch on SmackDown. I'm sure it's going to be a hot show because they'll be maybe it's at the same arena where Bash at Berlin is. I think they do that. But anyway, it's over in Germany. And two big matches. We've got Nia Jax defending her title versus Mia Yim in a street fight. And LA Knight has an open challenge for his U.S. title. Jay, what are your initial thoughts on any or both of these?
Nia Jax rules, MVP of 2024. Don't really care about LA Knight's open challenge. I don't think there's anybody that's going to like wow me unless it's like Kenny Omega or John Moxley or Dustin Rhodes or Ricky Starks, which none of those are happening. So
what are the chances it's Logan Paul?
That actually makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Could be.
Thanks for contributing. It took 201 episodes, but
are you kidding me? You've been agreeing with me all show, and now all of a sudden it's like I say something. Come on. Yeah, who says it couldn't be Logan Paul? I don't think it's going to be, but I have no idea who it is going to be.
Kev, anybody?
What you got, Kev? Yeah.
Kaiser.
Yeah.
I'll go with the
Vinci making his debut.
Vegas Vinci, yeah. That's good. Wow, Joe, two contributions in like a minute, and it took you 201 episodes to do it. Jesus Christ, about damn time.
I'm smart.
Coming from that area, European.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's going to be an interesting crowd dynamic, whoever they get to be in that spot. But yeah, I think that's where like Santino Marella comes out, or something.
Oh, it's not in it.
No. He's not. I know, but you know what I'm saying, though, right? It's going to be somebody like a Vinci or something to that effect. I think he got drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah,
he's been MIA since Kaiser kicked the shit out of him. But yeah, so that'll be good for Friday night, and yeah, not Nia and Mia Yim or Michin, excuse me.
Michin.
Little street fight action that's going to be really, really good too. So always fun when they got those SmackDowns in the building with the PLE the next day. We've got our special guest coming on right now. So we've been doing this all year long. He's popping on right now. He is with the stash.
I had to put a costume on just in case I get them all wrong, fellas. I'm sorry.
You don't have to do that with us today. We're all friends here, man. we're welcoming our guest picker for our Bash of Berlin preview and predictions. Now, this gentleman, he's the host of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. It's heard on 106.1 FM WAKT in Toledo and wherever you get podcasts. Please welcome Deshaun Whipple, aka Whip Dog. Welcome to that wrestling podcast. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me, fellas. It's going to be some fun because we're talking about something I am so geeked to talk about already, Bash at Berlin.
Absolutely,
I'm ready. Let's get it.
We're so happy to have you on, and this is so fun because you and I and all collectively, we kind of just got reacquainted or acquainted like around SummerSlam. We just kind of ran into each other in Cleveland. I'd seen some of your social media and kind of put two and two together. But Kevin knows you from way back in the
Man.
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kev, tell everybody this story because this
So-
is something we've known about for a long time.
It is. So like it's my first ever indie show ever gone to in any wrestling. Me, now my wife, another couple and a friend. You lived in Michigan, so you probably realize the weatherman, Andy Provenzano. Does that sound familiar?
Mhm.
Okay. His daughter, they lived in Williamson. So she was like, hey, there's an independent wrestling event happening in Williamston. Are you guys interested? And I was like, absolutely. So we go. And I was like, I knew it was 14, 13 years ago. Found it on Facebook. It was January 25th,
Wow.
2009,
Wow.
15 and a half years ago.
Wow.
And over the years, one of my good buddies, Brad, we like, see what's on the independents. And we always say, man, whip dog this, whip dog that. And it's the name. It's just, we're like, because you're you're a larger gentleman. What are you, like 6'8"?
Well, I wish. That's what I tell people. That's on my resume, 6'8".
There you go.
You know,
But
WWE, you heard that. I'm 6'8". Remember that WWE. I'm old, but I'm not that old. I can still get signed. I'm saying.
You were compared to a lot of the other guys, you were,
Yeah, for sure.
a larger than life personality, wore the merch. I hope Brian, I found
Yeah,
some.
there it is.
Oh man,
I found several
Wow.
photos from then because I remember some of the guys. There was a guy that came out, danced every time because there was several TV shows that filmed all in the same day. And then Crazy Frank Stein
yes,
back in the
yes.
day.
He-
But no, you were the one that we the I Heart Whip Dog.
That
Sure.
is true, man. I was wrestling for big time wrestling, AWWL.
Wow.
The Sheik, Ed Farhat Jr.'s promotion. Rest in peace to him
Yeah.
and Tom Farhat, man. Many years ago, bro. Look at that young guy in there kicking somebody's tail.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not 6'8"? Because
I look like I'm about 6'12". Not even 7 feet, but 6'12" in that ring. Camera tricks, brother. Camera.
Have
Yeah.
you met Omos before?
Yeah.
Dog. My goodness, no.
That'll be
Just
the real
kidding.
test. That'll be the
Do
real
you
test.
remember the show? Like you
I-
see this picture. It's not the best picture, but do you remember this now?
I absolutely do. Surprisingly
amazing.
enough, I have a
Wow.
terrible memory, but a lot of my wrestling matches I do recall, man. So
Yeah.
I do remember this show.
Oh my God. How cool. So yeah, this is cool, man. This is really cool to be able to bring you on the show and,
Not
and
to
what
cut you off, but
Yeah.
see, I actually blame you guys because now that I am doing my podcast, I have a whole network of guys. When you came up to me and brought up wrestling, my partner that was with me, Najee, he does
Yeah.
a show called NXT with Najee. He was like, bro, you got to get back in the ring. I'm like, bro, I haven't wrestled in 7 years. He takes it back to our town of Michigan. They are trying to get me to come back.
you got to
I
do
commentary
this.
You
now.
have to do it.
3 matches, a little series, going into the end of the year, man.
Where?
Wow.
Where is the promotion at that they want you to wrestle at?
Well, the promotion now is called Superior Championship Wrestling. We
Okay.
actually, their base is in Berkeley, Michigan.
Okay.
They got some shows up and they're going to be at Troy Days in September. That's a big festival, 3 days. But we actually did a show right in downtown Detroit in front of the Spirit of Detroit statue this
Yeah.
past Saturday, man. Exactly, that fist right
So
there.
if you get back in the ring, we're all coming. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for everybody.
100%.
Okay.
We will buy a shirt. We'll bring signs. We will do this.
You better
Okay.
bring the I Heart Whip Dog shirts.
Yeah, bring those back in if they're
If you
not.
don't- if you
a
don't
thing
have
right
them in a
now.
They're
bin?
retro. They're big now.
It's definitely a throwback shirt now, man. I might get some extra bread for it now, bro.
That's awesome.
amazing, man. All right. Well, we'll be keeping tabs on that.
Sounds good.
And let's get into it. So yeah, we've been doing this all of 24, where each WWE PLE, the 4 of us, we do our predictions. We have a guest picker each PLE. Kevin is the keeper of the records, and he's going to share how we're all doing so far.
Yeah, by ways of Brian saying I'm keeper of the records, I enjoy spreadsheets is what he's trying to communicate there. But yeah, we do every single PLE, WWE specific. Okay.
Whoa. Hold on. You said you do the spreadsheets. So I've been lying on my resume about doing Excel for years, and you could have helped me?
Kevin loves
Yeah.
spreadsheets.
The least he can do for you, of course.
Man.
Don't worry, Deshaun. I'm going to give you.
He probably has a spreadsheet on how to make spreadsheets.
Yeah,
that's
I believe it.
how legit he is with these.
I will say this: you get back in that ring, I'm going to give you some one-on-one free spreadsheet training.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds
You
good.
get back
man.
to that ring training, and I'll give you the spreadsheet training.
Sounds good.
TED Talks on spreadsheets. Kev got you.
But yeah, I will say this: we've had several guest pickers, multiple friends, colleagues, people we meet along the way. So we're very excited to have you here. But just to run down to the scores, out of a possible, I don't even know the max.
Doesn't matter.
Jason's in
Doesn't
fifth
matter.
place right now, 22. Brian's with 30 points. Guest picker is at 38. Joe at 39, and I'm at 40. So guest picker, they go
They were big.
right around that first place. So there's a lot on your shoulders.
Thanks a lot, man.
And the
Lot of
only
pressure.
reason I'm in
No.
last is I take risks. No risk, no reward. Whip Dog, I predicted Roman Reigns would beat Cody at WrestleMania 39. I was the only one.
Okay.
This year, I predicted that Alba Fire and the other girl would win the tag titles. Nobody else did. This year, I predicted that Gunther would lose the IC title to Sammy. No one else did. I take risks. These other guys, they're jabronis.
This year, he predicted Seth Rollins would beat CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
No, dummy. I
right.
said it would be a no contest. And Brian says, he's going to say Seth Rollins would. I didn't say Seth Rollins would.
I'm just
And I was
stirring
really
the
high.
pot.
And I was really high that week. So shut up.
Man.
With that pick, obviously.
Wow.
He
Okay.
picked the referee to win.
No, I picked a no contest, asshole.
So it's not always an exact science, as you can see.
I see, man. I see.
We all have our own styles, but so we'll run through the card. It's very much like college game day. Give a couple of quick thoughts, and we'll go around the horn, and Kevin will keep track of it all. Let's start us off. It's the women's tag title match: Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Jade and Bianca. Whip, who you got here?
Ooh-wee. So I wanted to say Jade and Bianca. And you know what? Now that he's talking about taking risks, I'm thinking something weird might happen. This might be the beginning of the breakup. Okay. But you know what? I got to do it for the other celebrity guest pickers. I'm going to no. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire to keep the title. I'm going there.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going there.
You switched like 4 times in one.
I know.
Amazing.
That's how my mind works all the time, bro.
We're gonna have to be like Regis Philbin and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have you say
in.
final answer.
Yeah,
final prediction.
Final prediction.
That was good.
I had like 4 different wrestling characters just like that because my personality is always switching.
Nice.
Deshaun, Whip Dog, Whipomania. It's always switching, man.
All right, Jay, follow that.
I don't think you can.
Who's the referee?
Eddie Pinero or Charles Robinson. I can't confirm.
As much as I want the champs to retain, the champs are going to retain. We need Bianca and Jade to break up, get Naomi in the middle of it somehow, and it just turned into a huge thing. Did you guys see them on Hot Ones Versus?
I did not. I
None of
saw
you did.
a clip or two. I did.
Yeah.
About one of them poop in the ring or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I
Yeah.
think that was the clip that was.
So
going around.
I'm gonna go champs retain.
Yeah.
Champions retain.
All right, Joe.
Man, this sucks. I gotta agree. I'm going with Alba Fire. Champs retained.
I'm gonna do the same. There's that Blair Davenport that's been getting in the mix too, and so maybe there's something with Naomi that shakes things up too. But I'll say they'll keep them, right? So yeah, I'll say that as well. Kev,
I'm on the same pick train. I like what they're doing. They put a I'll say an adrenaline shot to the females, and I think they're doing great things. And Isla Dawn, that's all I gotta say.
Beautiful woman. Agreed.
Oh, beautiful woman.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Match number 2. It's the mixed tag. It's Liv and Dom versus Rhea and Damian Priest. Whip, what's the thought here?
Oh, the Twin Terrors. Even though I don't like that name, they are going over. It's their time to win this one. I think something screwy will happen after the match, but I definitely think they're going to finally get up on them one good time.
Love it. Jay?
The real Judgment Day is going to win. That would be Liv and Dom.
Joe?
Terror Twins, because they both lost at SummerSlam. They can't go back to back. We gotta build for bad blood.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going Liv and Dom as well. I think because of the other Judgment Day members, they're gonna get involved and I let's piss off Rhea and Damian even more, right? They're already pissed, but let's keep it rolling. Let's keep Liv and Dom as those slimy heels that they are. Give me Liv and Dom. Kev?
I think Terror Twins. Joe said it best. Lead to the next pay-per-view.
All right. Got a good little mix here on that one. Match number 3, it's Drew McIntyre and CM Punk in a strap match. Whip, you ever do a strap match in your indie career?
Oh my!
I actually did one. I thought it was slightly racist because I'm a black guy.
Oh,
I did one.
Way to go, Brian. Way to bring that up.
Wasn't even thinking that. We're keeping it strictly professional. But wow.
I said it, so it's okay. It's okay.
That's right.
Oh man, that one's tough, but I am going to go with Punk. I'm going with Punk on this one. I think again, Drew's going to do something at the end of the match to keep the feud going, but I think it's Punk's turn to go up.
All right. Love it. Jay?
Yeah. We need to get rid of this stupid bracelet and let's just tie Drew to the ropes, take the bracelet off, and be on our way. So Punk wins because he lost at SummerSlam, according to Joe's logic.
Joe, does the logic remain on this one then?
Last answer for this one too. CM Punk
lead into Bad Blood.
A Hell in a Cell at their final match at Bad Blood.
Right.
I'm going the same, guys. Yeah, it just makes sense. Let's Punk get this win. Strap matches can be kind of silly, so he could be kind of a fluky win, and that's fine. Setting up Hell in a Cell. Kev?
Same.
All right, across the board there.
Final answer.
Yep.
Come on, Kevin, how am I supposed to catch up to you if you keep thinking the same as me?
No, somebody's got to take a risk here. Come on. All right, it's Cody and Kevin Owens. This has kind of been a weird, I was reading online, people like Kevin didn't want the match. They did kind of a little tease of maybe hitting Cody with the belt in the back last week on SmackDown, and he didn't. So how you feeling on this one, Whip?
There ain't no way Cody's losing the title yet, man. And that's my problem. That's a whole nother show, my problem with this whole Cody run, because nobody looks like credible opponents yet since Mania. But no, there's no way Cody's losing this one.
Jay?
Kevin Owens.
Yes, there it is.
Will lose because Cody turns heel.
Oh, okay. I got.
If that happens, he gets an extra point, though. I'm
beats
serious.
the shit out of Kevin Owens.
So he becomes a real nightmare.
He becomes
right.
Homelander.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Joe?
Cody wins. and I'll agree with our guest, Whip Dog, with if Jason's right that Cody turns heel with this, he can get an extra point.
Yeah.
I
doesn't
get
first place.
I get to tie first place.
No, you don't. But if he doesn't turn heel, you go back to 0.
No. Okay.
See, that's why it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
No. If he
turns heel, I go to first place. If he doesn't, I will go to the bottom of the list.
That's interesting.
Well, it's funny
Logic
because
there.
Kevin, I don't think Kevin and I are worried because the way you pick will take over first place the next one, so it doesn't matter.
I have it on there. Cody Rhodes maybe +1.
Yeah, give him the extra point. I'm fine with
give
that.
me first place if Cody Rhodes turns heel. None of you are going to do it because you got no balls, Joe.
I'll take
Brian,
Cody
who you
Rhodes.
got?
Going Cody Rhodes.
The Rhodes is looking very, I'll say, golden then for him.
Whip had a great point,
Yeah,
and
very
I think
good
that's a good. We'll see how the week of wrestling goes for next week. That might be a good discussion point for next week, depending on how Saturday goes for Bash in Berlin. Kev, you got Cody winning?
Cody.
Cody's winning. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm guessing it's the main event because they've been building that this is like his return to his home. It's Gunther and Randy Orton. What's the call here, Whip?
Oh, come on, man. You got to go with the king. Gunther in his home. It's going to be crazy. I love Randy, but no. Randy does all that. I'm going to kick your ass. RKO. He's losing. He's losing. Gunther has him.
I really appreciated the
Jay?
Randy Orton's going to win the title.
Man.
And then headline Bad Blood with MGK. Don't know if you heard about that.
I read about that.
MGK said, F you, Randy, to his face.
Allegedly.
Shots fired.
Yeah. So, Randy Orton's going to win the title.
All right. Well, a little sad homecoming for Gunther. Joe?
I mean, if it was the old regime running it, it's the Booker T has to lose in Houston rule. Yeah, that would make sense, but it's not the old regime. Gunther retains.
I got Gunther retaining. I think this is where the bloodline gets involved. They're not on the card. They got no place. Randy helped Cody last time at SummerSlam, during the bloodline rules match. So
okay.
I think, maybe this is their way of getting back on that. Solo can take out Randy or maybe Jacob Fatu. But I think that's what's going to lead to Gunther getting the win, and then we can keep building more bloodline stuff with Randy Orton. Kev,
I want to see Gunther. I do like that scenario you just brought up. I do like Jay's option of Randy getting another check mark. That would make him 15, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Tied for
that
second.
Would be amazing too. But I want to see that crowd go absolutely crazy when Gunther comes out and then when Gunther retains. Because that crowd, I just can't wait. I hope maybe they're going to take over the event, but hopefully if they take over the other matches, they let that match ride. I don't want to see a lot of the cheering, like the football or the soccer chants, all the things like we did or saw. Was it France?
France had a lot of that with
where it's like the 1, 2, do. It'd be normal wrestling fans.
Oh, they're not.
Let that one hijack the rest of them.
It's going to be solid.
Yeah, but they probably say the same thing about us, going like, another show where they chant, "You still got it," or "You deserve it." So let them have their
fellas,
fun.
I know we just did all the picks, but I got to ask you, do you think there's going to be any weird swerves happening on this event, or do you think it's going to be pretty much straightforward? Because I think there's going to be a situation with Randy and Kevin Owens somehow in this series. I definitely think something's going to happen between them two. I think Randy at some point is starting to go back heel because he has to go against Cody at some point anyway. So that's my pick.
Yeah.
It's tough. Randy is in such a love fest right now with the fans. Like that promo he cut on Raw, the fans a lot of times are singing the theme song. But I think you're right. It has to happen at some point.
It only took you 15 years to do it.
Right? He's still a smug dude. Trust me.
I don't think at these little 5-match events, I don't think there's really been anything that's, classified as a swerve. And I don't know. I think they saved that for the big stuff, the big 4 or 5.
Yeah. We just had 2 huge ones at SummerSlam that we were all in the building for with Dom and with Finn. So, I don't know, but it should be fun. It's 1:00 on Saturday. So we like to ask this, Whip, too. Like, so, now that they've been doing so many more of these European shows, some Saudi Arabia shows, are you able to watch live? How does your day look for this?
I actually love those better because I can watch the whole pay-per-view and still go get drunk at the end of the night, somebody's bar. So I can have a great time. This Saturday, I'll actually be performing at Arts Beats and Eats in Royal Oak.
That's right.
So
nice.
I got to try to watch the main event while I'm backstage before we go on, but I'm definitely going to try to watch it live.
Perform. What do you do? Whip? You
Well,
doing like
actually, I'm going to be MCing. There's a group called Kayfabe, the People's Band.
Oh, yeah.
Which we
Okay.
saw at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Right,
so yeah, they
right.
do the live music, and I'm gonna be MCing for them.
Nice. Very cool.
So if you guys
We're gonna
are in the
get
area or
in
something, or know any people, let them know. Come on out.
Yeah, we're gonna get in touch with you off the air because Kevin has a big party at his house called Cocktoberfest, and we want the Kayfabe band to play.
Sweet.
And down
They
in
would love
Fort
to.
Wayne, I don't know if there's noise ordinances that'll allow that, but we'll figure something out. Whip, this is great, man.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
Thanks
thank
so
you.
Thank you
much.
for having me, fellas. I mean, like I said, I got the mustache just in case. I'll come back with another costume in disguise next time. Just the saying.
That's awesome. Tell everybody about what you're doing because you know I shared it with the boys, like the Whip Show Facebook post and Facebook page, excuse me, and you had all these great interviews at the SummerSlam Media Days. You're really doing some great stuff.
Yeah, man. The last couple of years have really been awesome. I'm gonna be honest. I would have never expected to be in this space, but you never know where life takes you. And the first WWE event they gave me media access was last year at SummerSlam in Detroit. And I'm like, well, maybe they just gave it to me because it was Detroit, you know. But ever since then, WWE has been absolutely phenomenal showing love. In the press box, they feed us. They give us all access to the wrestlers. They give us, you know, the great tickets. Just really good. And it actually led me to be able to be media for all Elite Wrestling events and TNA as well because of that. And actually opened the doors in other media spaces as well, man. So it's been really great. Like I said, got the radio show, 106.1 FM on Toledo. It comes on at 7 right now. But in 2 weeks, we're going to move to Tuesday at 8 p.m. So we'll be in a primetime slot there. Just enjoying it, man, and still doing a little commentary with some of the local wrestling promotions, man, because no matter what, and I know you guys know this, as much as we love WWE and the main stuff, we got to still show love for those indie promotions, man, because up until last year, the indie promotions were better than what was going on WWE television. No offense, Vince, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, man, just really been blessed, man. It's really been going really good.
Awesome.
And let me, before I go, I can't just say it's all me. I want to shout out my team as well because the whole Whip Show team, these guys are great. Like I said, I got Najee. He's doing NXT with Najee. He does a show on my network. A guy, his name is the Word Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker. He's a fan, but he has a show called Championship Material, which he talks from a fan's point of view about different concepts. Like he had one really good one, like a fantasy, Jade Cargill versus Camille. An amazing episode, did about 20,000 views. Really good, man. My guy Rego Flores and my guy Kanye Gardner and my buddy Jordan, who was actually the commentator with me for Superior Championship Wrestling. He's actually does some work with TNA right now. He does some production work actually for TNA. So he'll be at BFG live backstage, even though he doesn't get me in though, but that's okay.
That's great, man.
He's not as good as you.
Yeah, I thought it was. I'll pull strings for him. He doesn't pull strings for me, but it's okay.
So how do people?
If you guessed Deshaun Whip Dog turning heel on his buddy, you just got.
Man, I just realized it right now, bro. This is the swerve I was talking about earlier, right here. Just switch it up.
Boom.
How's the best way for people to find you? What you're doing?
Yeah.
Just put in WHIPSHOW Whip Show Podcast. I'm always on social media acting crazy. So always you can follow me. And we're always talking wrestling pretty much all day long, man. Because I don't know how old you gentlemen are, but we all are very mature and we still love the sport. And that's one beautiful thing about it, man. So if you love pro wrestling, like to talk about it, I'm always here.
That's awesome, man.
In the blood.
Thank you so much, my friend. We will do this again, I'm sure, down the road. And again, want to thank everyone for supporting the show. As we last week, Whip, we had our 200th episode, so we're really happy about what we're building. Again. Thank you. So we're just trying to build that interaction even more. Again, throw comments on our YouTube page, leave a review if you're listening on the audio pod, like, subscribe, any of that feedback. We want to interact with our audience even more as we push ahead further into 2014. YouTube.com/That Wrestling Podcast is the site. At That WrestlePod is the social media. And whatamaneuver.net is for all your merchandise needs. Whether it is No Mercy, whether it is Bash at Berlin, Collision's probably on Saturday night too. That's all good. As always, like we like to say, enjoy wrestling.
You know, you said 2014, right?
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow @ThatWrestlePod on social media.